Hi, today we're going to talk about feminicide and the misogyny. In recent years, violence against women has increased throughout Mexico. Despite this, the responsible authorities in the federal local levels have not implemented the necessary measures to eradicate rapes, femicides, and aggression. Violence against women is generated in a patriarchal system of inequality and social exclusion. Mexican women are involved in a context of systematic impunity and a lack of investigation that makes it impossible to access justice. On the other hand, women who are lucky enough not to be in this situation face other misogynistic issues, such as the huge gender work gap or the provision of abortion. With 10 feminicides per day and women raped every 4 minutes in the country, the anger and courage of feminists had led them to fight through protest. In this search for justice and results, the police repressed the demonstrations, leaving the group of women just with gas bombs and fences as the only response to what they demand, an end to sexist violence.
Talking about misogyny and feminicide, we can easily identify the group that has this problem, women. However, this presentation is not about generalizing, but showing exactly who, from which we are going to rely on the following figures and graphs. In the first graph, we can identify the profile of the victims of probable cases of feminicide at the highest level with a 33% of probability. We find the women from 21 to 30 years old. In the second graph, we can observe in more detail the age of the murdered women accounted by the National Institute of Statistics and Geography, the INEGI. We can identify that the majority falls on those women between 25 and 34 years old, followed by the age between 15 and 24 years. Finally, and to finish with these statistics, we can observe two really alarming data. The first that tells us that 95% of feminicides in Mexico City go unpunished, and the second that tells us that 47% of women in Mexico suffer violence, whether physical or sexual. In the end, we cannot generalize because not all women have this problem. It's true. However, 47% of them do, a percentage that is really important and that is too high. It really represents a menace, something is not right.
Okay, there is a serious problem this is a serious problem that has affected Mexican women for a long time. In Mexico, there's statistics that marks us that there is an average of 10 women that are victims of femicide and intentional homicide every day. There are more daily cases of violence against women than coronavirus diagnosis. More than 10 women were killed every day during 2020. From 2050 to November 2020, femicides and murders have doubled according to figures from Executive Secretarial of the National Public Security System. In 2015, 411 femicides were registered. Then, in 2016, they increased to 605. In 2017, they were 742. In 2018, they counted 893. In 2019, they increased to 940, while until November of 2020, they were officially 860. And well, the explanation for violence against women and femicides is machismo, and the reasons of femicides are lower in developed countries. If this keeps going, women will be more insecure every day. They are already afraid of going out and being harassed, raped, or killed. We need to stop this and make aware of it so Mexico become a safer place for women.
On an individual level, women suffer from different forms of violence and discrimination, and this way of violence changes between each individual. However, it also has an impact on a local and national level. For example, Mexico, the feminist movement has been focusing for the last years on two main things: demanding women's right to choose over their own body, and what we just mentioned, protesting against feminicides. However, this also has an international scale since every March 8th, during the International Women's Day, commemorated since 1911, millions of women from all over the world get out onto the streets to march and protest against the violence they suffer and for the things that still need to be done for the cause.
The misogyny in the entrepreneurial ecosystem is very clear because even though there is female representation, most of the people in the hierarchy at the top are still men, and most businesses are still managed by men. And in the market segment, it's very clear that there are differences when it comes to certain industries. For example, the makeup industry is generally directed towards women, and for example, the video game industry is male coded most of the time.